The deliberate murder of journalists reporting on a conflict is a war crime. But Israel insists that al-Sharif was the head of a Hamas terrorist cell.
IDF does not target journalists. In this strike from 2 days ago, the IDF targeted a Hamas terrorist, an active Hamas terrorist. His position, he had a few positions in the Hamas terror organization, but he was part of their rocket brigade. He was the head of a cell in the rocket brigade, and that's who we target. And I think the question needs to be asked, why is Hamas and why is Al Jazeera having terrorists on their payroll working as journalists? And why are terrorists also functioning as journalists with press justice? I think that those are questions that need to be very alarming, and we need to ask them about what's going on in Gaza.
Well, the UN, Reporters Without Borders, the Foreign Press Association, the Committee to Protect Journalists and major broadcasters, including the BBC, say that Israel has not produced sufficient evidence to prove that claim. There are old social media posts by al-Sharif, some verified, some unverified, which indicate clear sympathies with Hamas. There's also photographs of al-Sharif with the slain Hamas leader Sinwar. But the BBC's understanding is that he worked for the Hamas media office before the current conflict began and had been sharply critical of Hamas more recently. It should also be noted that Hamas is the biggest employer in Gaza. To this day, it pays the salaries of tens of thousands of people, including civil servants, as the de facto government. Now, there is evidence that al-Sharif was a former Hamas employee and at some point a supporter. But does the evidence meet the very high bar for somehow justifying a targeted attack on journalists in a conflict which independent journalists have simply not been allowed to see? Jamal, first of all, your reaction to this emphatic statement by the IDF that Anas al-Sharif was a Hamas terrorist?
I think it's a disgrace, actually, that people are giving any sort of credence to what the Israeli military is saying. This is a military that has, for the past 2 years, conducted a genocide, the likes of which we have not seen in our lifetime before, has dropped the amount of munitions that is equivalent to 7 Hiroshimas on a besieged enclave that has been besieged for 20 years now, has killed more than 20,000 children.